In this video, we will factor using the method of difference of two squares for two problems. This will be the first problem where we simply just factor it, and this will be the second problem where we actually solve for x. But before we get to answer these two questions, let's look at what is the difference of two squares. So if we have a squared minus b squared, where both a and b are squared, we could say instead parentheses a minus b times parentheses a plus b. This would be in complete factored form. And this makes sense because if we did a times this, we would get a squared plus ab. A times this would be a squared plus ab. But negative b times this would be negative ab minus b squared. So we have ab minus ab, and that's why there's a 0 ab here. And so we would ultimately just get a squared minus b squared. And if you want, you can try to expand this, and you'll get this. And so, for example, if we have x squared minus 25, instead of saying 25, we could say 5 squared, like this, minus b squared. Instead, we say minus 5 squared. And so our final answer in complete factored form would be this, x minus 5 times x plus 5. And now we will solve our two problems. We have x squared minus 36y squared, and we want to factor this out completely. So x squared is good, it's like a squared. Minus 36y squared isn't like this, almost. Instead of saying minus 36y squared, we could say minus parentheses 6y squared, because 6y squared would be 36y squared. And so our final answer in complete factored form would be parentheses x minus 6y times parentheses x plus 6y. And this right here would be the final answer. And now for the second problem where we solve for x. We have parentheses x minus 2 squared minus 49 is equal to 0. So x minus 2 squared is like a squared, but minus 49 isn't like it. So instead we say minus 7 squared. And so now it's similar to this. And now we want to solve for x. So we would get parentheses x minus 2 is simply a, x minus 2 is simply a. Then we do minus b, and then plus b. So it would be minus 7, also plus 7. This is very important. So a remains the same, however b would be minus b and also plus b. So a is the same, x minus 2, but b would be minus 7 and plus 7. And so our final answer would be parentheses x plus 5, because negative 2 plus 7 is plus 5, and parentheses x minus 9, because minus 2 minus 7 is minus 9, is equal to 0. And since we're solving for x, our value of x would be x is equal to minus 5 or x is equal to 9, because if x was negative 5, we would have negative 5 plus 5, which would be 0. 0 times any number is 0. Likewise, x is equal to 9. So 9 minus 9 is 0. 0 times 14 would be 0. And that's why we have two answers. And that's how we can factor and solve using the method of difference of two squares.